because the legislature was tied up with those two bills. Discussion on Senate Bill 80, which would have given the Chiefs and Royals a tax incentive to stay in Missouri, that has been stalled.
Democratic lawmakers said they would not negotiate on stadium funding if Republicans move forward with that abortion bill, which, as we just told you, they did. So the legislative session ended 2 days early. Unless Governor Kehoe calls a special session, that stadium debate is basically over for now in Missouri. So the big question, of course, is what's going to happen here?
Well, we know Kansas has already expanded their Star Bonds program, which would pay for up to 70% of projects for both teams.
KSHP 41 News reporter Grant Stevens is live for us this morning at Kauffman Stadium to talk about where we go from here specifically in Missouri. And Grant, we continue to find it interesting that they called everything off with 2 days left to go. They could have continued conversations today and tomorrow. That's not going to happen.
Not going to happen. They could have, but they chose not to. And that means it's really unclear where we are at right now. We're just not quite sure, especially because the Royals have told us that Senate Bill 80, this piece of legislation, was a really key part in getting them to stay here at the Truman Complex once their lease expires. And what's been kind of interesting about this is I've heard senators on both sides of the aisle either bash or praise this. So that lack of unity, that sort of amalgamation of voices was key here. Now, about the Democrats, they said it was the Republicans' fault for adjourning early. That's why they were frustrated that they couldn't get to it. Of course, not all Democrats. Some Democrats didn't want to get to this. That's not quite the whole picture, though. The other two factors are timing and also everything else on the senators' tables. And on timing, this was sort of introduced last minute. Senators going home early, they just ran out of time.
And I hope it does happen. I want them to absolutely stay here. They're Missouri's teams.
Until we get some property tax relief in our county, I'm a no, and that's my stance on it. Let's get the people some relief, then we'll look at keeping the Chiefs and the Royals.
Quite simply, there was a path. Many people knew of that path. I think, again, we had so many options there to get there, and it is because of the Republican supermajority that we do not have the stadium funding today.
Yeah, you can hear the frustrations. And remember, Kehoe could call a special session to talk about this again, but we have not heard if he's going to do that or not.
All right, thank you very much, Grant.